Good evening and salutations, my B&B fans. How do you think about that for a minute? So here's the thing. I watched yesterday's episode, and I felt like if I were to put out a review yesterday, it would have been extremely negative. It would have been extremely negative because Steffi couldn't shut up. It's almost like they decided to take her characteristics and put it into overdrive. Okay, Steffi has not always been my favorite character, but it's like they dialed up 11 on just how obnoxious that she is, and how inept both of her parents are. Because especially Ridge is married, and this guy comes across as the most inept tool I think I've seen in a very long time. He tries to get Thomas to back down yesterday. And Thomas takes him over to Steffi's place, and Steffi just starts, doing her usual parent trap crap. Being a grown ass woman with two children and a husband, and yet she somehow managed to find time to, you guys got to be together because me and Finn are together, and she makes you so happy, and we want you to be happy, and she just goes on and on and on and on. She did that today, and honestly, to tell you the truth, as I'm sitting there, when I'm watching this, I'm just like, because I'm just like, if this goes like it did yesterday, I'm just not going to bother to put anything out because it's just going to be negative. It's just going to be negative. Granted, this review isn't starting off on a positive foot. Um, there's one point where Brooke calls and Steffi answers Ridge's phone. It's like, oh, he can't answer you right now. He's home. He's with Taylor. You're not going to be with him for long. And she just acts like the brat. Just acts like a 12-year-old brat. And it's very difficult to sit there and watch this play out because I'm just like, I mean, she's doing way too much. And I wouldn't mind characters going overboard to some extent, but she's so obnoxious about it. She's so obnoxious about it that it's just. I'm gonna be honest. She makes the episode unwatchable. Like yesterday, it was completely unwatchable. Today, it had the saving grace of Deacon and Sheila. Because I'm gonna be honest, if we didn't have like some other character that actually liked even Bill, I'm like, you know what? I'm not even gonna bother putting anything out because it was just it was gonna be too negative. Now Deacon gets back and he sees Sheila just has that stare, that look on her face like she's up to no good. So he's like, yeah, listen, once again, he tries to get her to understand that, she can't see um, Ben and Hayes anymore. She just can't do it. But she was like, those are the most important people in my life. I'm like, doesn't she have other kids? I mean, I get that the plot is orphan and she doesn't apparently have any kids in this universe or whatever. But I'm just like, I don't understand how you feel that those two are the most important people in your life. And like, you have other children. And granted, those other children may not want any parts of her, but she does have other children. Why is she so fixated on one? Like, I don't. Here's the thing: I don't have a history lesson of how the other children feel about Sheila. Hell, I don't even remember how many other children she has. But I'm just like, bro, you doing way too much for somebody who you shot. Like, what? Now it seems that in the beginning, Sheila and Deacon only hooked up because Sheila had the mask. But now, between the one genuine kiss that I saw and him, pulling her closer and kissing her and kind of enjoying it but stopping it, it's just like, you would normally call something like that Stockholm Syndrome. But I'm like, she's not keeping you captured. I mean, she's not keeping you held hostage or anything like that. I mean, yeah, she's kind of goading you into it and she's playing on your on your sympathy and everything like that. But I'm like, these feelings and stuff that he's doing, this is voluntarily. Okay. I mean, I don't mind it because I've been sitting there saying from the beginning, like, bro, same. She's there, you're single, she's single. I don't see a problem. I really don't. I mean, it's clear that you're not ever going to get back with Brooke. Um, Not though I don't like anyone looking like a constellation prize or feeling like a constellation prize. I'm like, well, she is there, so I'm just saying. Brooke tells Hope about her. 1 second. She tells her about the romantic night that she planned on having with Reg, and then Liam comes in there, and Liam's like, "Oh, I see my dad is gone. Oops. Was I not supposed to say anything about that? My bad." But anyway, after that whole thing happened, and Hope is like, like what's going on? Because he's like, "Yo, I've been defending you, and you got men coming by that damn well Rich does not like. He doesn't even like them breathing in his house, and one of them was in the bed that y'all two share." So I understand her look, especially seeing how she defended her not that long ago. But Brooke is like, "No, it's gonna be fine. Everything was fine." And he did give me like a stern talking to, but we're good. We're on. It wasn't that serious. He's yeah, pretty much kind of. Well, I wouldn't sit there and say playing it down because like he was upset for a little bit, but he was like, listen, she's my wife, yada yada yada, which is like it's so funny hearing these two use these. I don't want to sit there and say loose terms, but how many times has Rich sit there and say, "Well, Brooke is my wife. I mean, she's my wife," and you know, how many times how many times does he sit there and say, "She's my wife," accompanied by, "I love her"? Not too often. Yeah, you may hear it every once in a while, but not too often. Um, and of course, Hope and Liam go back to their respective places. They stop talking about Thomas for a little bit. Um, and, I was about to sit there and say Kelly, whatever. Brooke is she got on the black dress, she got the candles. I would not personally use candles because I know I'm very clumsy, and it's just one boop, and the whole place is smoking up. But she's ready. She got the dress on, the candles. She's all like, "Oh, I just need my husband." So of course, when she calls Steffi, like I said, Steffi decides to act like a 12-year-old brat. Finn is just going along with anything that Steffi says. I mean, and it's just so sad. I mean, I know back in the day, some men I would see that like, "Bro, you're kind of whipped." And I get that sometimes with women like that, it's easier to just sit there and say, "Yeah, yeah, whatever she says." But then you become a yes man, and no one likes a yes man. No one pretty much respects a yes man. They just don't. He jumps into it when Steffi was having that talk with their parents and just pushing him. Thomas is jumping in. Thomas came in. Even Finn jumped in. Finn was like, "Oh well, I mean," Rich was like, "Oh no, not you too." Like, what? I don't understand. How is that a funny? How is that a? Oh, not you too, as opposed to, bro, y'all need to stop. Like, y'all need to sit there and quit. Disrespect my wife, or any other things that he could sit there and say instead of being this inept tool at this point. But yeah, even Finn joins in like, "Oh, I can see y'all two love each other, this, that, and the third." And Ridge and Taylor have their talk, and I just this is not working for me. It's really not working for me. It got to a point I was like, man, I should be watching Wyatt Earp. So I watched a little bit yesterday, and I don't remember who was on there. I do remember it being kind of good to an extent. That's what it was. It was Adam, Nick, and Sally. So those scenes were good. And what they're trying to remember. The Diane and Phyllis stuff was okay. I mean, again, I'm not, I'm not into the story of Phyllis trying to take down Diane for stuff that she did years ago. Oh, and by the way, there was a mysterious texter that was telling Deacon to meet him somewhere. Either it's mysterious or he does not want to tell. He does not want to tell Sheila who's texting him. Probably for that big, great crossover. But it was okay. The only thing that stuck out like a sore thumb was the Kyle and Summer parts. Because my goodness, there are certain characters that I will sit there and say now in this review that needs to go. They just need to go. Summer, Kyle, Allie, Noah, Tess, Mariah, somebody else. Can't think of who it is. But they are just dead weight. Oh, by the way, I think I'm pretty much kind of done with the B&B review. But again, yet they're just dead weight. They are literally just there for filler. And I know there's a lot of people that sometimes would be filler, and even on my favorite shows like Days or whatever, sometimes they'll have like fillers. But like these people, it's like the minute that you see them, it's like you just know that you're just gonna be bored. You know, every time I see Noah with Allie, it's like, oh great, these two. I can't wait to sit there and look at my phone while they play in the background. Same thing with Kyle and Summer. I'm just like, I mean, this whole thing, even hiring Phyllis after Diane got the job, it's like, you know that your moms don't like each other. Okay, Diane got the job first. Why are you hiring Phyllis for? Seriously, let her stay at the Grand Phoenix. Let her do her thing. It's all good. Like, why? If I remember the seventh person, I will sit there and try to mention it if I remember. But with that being said, I'm going to go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe, and I will see you in the next video.